Cornejo, General Manager of LADOT, Ted Ross, General Manager of the Information Technology Agency. We have Assistant Chief of Police and Director of Special Operations for LAPD, Blake Chow, Lourdes Castro Ramirez, Chief of Housing and Homelessness Solutions, Brian Williams, Deputy Mayor of Public Safety, as well as Randall Winston, Deputy Mayor of Infrastructure. And with that, I'll give it over to Mayor Bass.
Good evening, everyone. As always, I want to begin by thanking our first responders and city crews who have worked overnight 24/7 since the beginning of this weather system to respond to this historic rain. I want to thank them for their heroic action and all of the city workers that are out in the field right now making sure that we are able to recover from this. All throughout the day, city crews were responsible and responding to mudslides, downed trees, power outages, and more. Since the beginning of this crisis, power has been restored to 59,000 Angelenos. Just over 6,600 customers remain without power, many due to a downed tree in Brentwood, where we have a crew right now of 30 individuals on site who will work throughout the night until the issue is resolved. Though the rain is easing up, we cannot drop our guard. We are expecting rain this evening and a surge of heavy rains in a short period of time that may impact tomorrow's commute. And as was described this morning, our hillsides are already saturated. So even not very heavy rains could still lead to additional mudslides. And as always, we urge Angelenos to stay safe. We are still at 0 storm-related fatalities, and that, again, is due to Angelenos heeding our warning. We cannot let up. Even when the rain stops, the ground may continue to shift. We will be providing recovery information for the thousands of Angelenos impacted by the storm in the coming days. As I mentioned last night, we received a call from the Vice President and the President, and today I am working, and tomorrow we'll be preparing the requests for the administration and the governor. Remember, please register for Notify LA. The city will be working around the clock to serve, and we will keep you informed as the storm continues. Remain safe and off the streets. Now let me call up our fire chief, Kristen Crowley.
All right, well, good evening, everyone. And as we are coming to the end of our third day of the storm, departments across the city have worked 24 hours a day to maintain city services and to address your immediate needs. While this significant storm passes through Los Angeles, our Emergency Operations Center still remains at a level 2 activation to continue our coordination as an all-city response and recovery effort. Now, think about this, 6 to 12 inches of rain have fallen across the region, bringing many, many challenges to our city. However, I am very proud of the efforts of our first responders and our city workers who have come together to keep our residents and visitors safe and to limit the damage of this storm. So as we shift our focus from immediate response to long-term recovery, I want to emphasize the importance of unity and cooperation. The road to recovery may be long, and it requires an all-hands-on-deck approach. Damage assessments have started, and all city departments will continue to coordinate and support our recovery efforts. Some new information here. The Latuna Canyon evacuation order has been lifted, and LAPD will remove all hard closures. Officers will remain in the area to maintain safety and security. As residents return to their homes, we urge them to exercise caution, and we ask them to stay informed via traditional and social media. Next, I'll provide you with a few updates from our other city departments. Since the beginning of the storm, city services and resources have responded to the following: 475 mudslides, 390 fallen trees, multiple successful water rescues, an increased volume in our traffic collisions, a dozen structure fires have been extinguished, 919 catch basin, and stormwater conveyance systems have been cleared, and 441 reports of potholes have been recorded, and street services is working quickly to address them. We are very, very proud to say the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power has restored power to over 59,000 customers throughout the city. Now remember, storms increase the likelihood of downed and damaged wires, and if you encounter a downed wire, assume them to be energized, potentially lethal, and call 911. Please call 311 or use My LA 311 app to report non-emergency problems. And since the storm began, My LA 311 has fielded over 4,500 non-emergency service calls. Now remember that these reports come directly to the Emergency Operations Center and keep the 911 lines open for life-threatening emergencies. So thank you to Mayor Bass and the city leadership members for leading our city through this very, 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 very challenging storm. And I also want to assure you that the fire department, along with all city services, we are all committed to the recovery and resiliency of this city. We will rebuild, we will recover, and we will emerge stronger. So thank you for your attention, your strength, and your unwavering spirit. And together we will navigate this recovery and stand united as a community, ready to face whatever challenges come our way. So stay safe and let's take care of each other. And next, I'd like to introduce Tyler Kranz. He's the lead meteorologist for the National Weather Service. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for the introduction. First, I'd like to start off by saying that our hearts do go out to those who have been negatively impacted by this storm. This truly was a historic storm with 6 to 12 inches of rain falling across the LA metro, and in fact, the Hollywood Hills and eastern portions of the Santa Monica Mountains actually saw over a foot of rain. While the worst of the storm is over with, the threat of flooding, debris flows, landslides, and mudslides is not quite over just yet. In fact, the National Weather Service has extended our flood watch to go in effect through 1 a.m. tonight. And that extension was done to account for additional periods of rain expected this evening. Keep in mind that although the rain may appear light when you look outside, the ground is fully saturated and simply cannot hold any more water, so it won't take much to see those impacts continue. So after 1 a.m. tonight, we do gradually improve. The rain will gradually start to come to an end, but that's only temporary. As you heard earlier, we do have a heavy burst of rain on the way tomorrow evening. Right now, the most likely timing for that would be 5 to 10 p.m. And so that will impact the evening commute. And if you can stay off the roads, that will be your best bet. If you must drive, please be sure to never ever drive through a flooded road. It truly is impossible to tell how deep the water actually is. Beyond that, Thursday into Friday and certainly into the upcoming weekend, we do dry out. In fact, the weekend looks sunny. It will be warmer. And that is great news. But until then, we do need to remain vigilant. And please, please, please heed any evacuation notices that may pop up in your area. And of course, make sure you have a way to receive our flash flood warnings. Thank you.
Buenas noches. Acabamos de terminar el tercer día de esta tormenta y los varios departamentos a través de nuestra ciudad han trabajado las 24 horas del día para mantener los servicios a nuestros residentes abiertos y respondiendo a sus necesidades. Mientras mantenemos esta tormenta que nos ha amenazado, mantenemos aquí el Centro de Coordinación de Emergencias y Operaciones en un nivel categórico 2. Esta categoría nos da la habilidad de continuar apoyando a nuestros residentes. Hemos tenido de 6 a 12 pulgadas de lluvia a través de nuestra región, lo cual nos ha traído muchos retos a nuestra ciudad. Pero estamos muy orgullosos de todos los esfuerzos que nuestros rescatistas y empleados públicos han llevado a cabo para apoyar a nuestros residentes y han limitado mucho del daño que ha causado esta tormenta. Mientras cambiamos el enfoque que tenemos de responder a emergencias ahora a estar prestos para la recuperación de largo plazo, quiero enfatizar la importancia de mantenernos unidos y cooperar. El camino a la recuperación es uno que va a tomar tiempo y va a ser largo mientras continuamos asesorando los daños y tenemos grupos que están trabajando con varios departamentos de la ciudad para coordinar estos esfuerzos de apoyo y recuperación. La orden de evacuación en el cañón de la Tuna ha sido levantado. La policía de Los Ángeles removerá el cierre de carreteras, pero aún así mantendrá una presencia en la zona. Enfatizamos a aquellos quienes están volviendo a sus hogares después de ser evacuados que ejerciten sumo cuidado y se mantenga informado mediante los noticieros tradicionales y las redes sociales. Queremos proveerles algunas actualizaciones de los diferentes departamentos. Desde que comenzó la tormenta, nuestra ciudad ha acudido a 475 deslaves de lodo, 390 árboles caídos, múltiples rescates acuáticos, un incremento en el volumen de accidentes automovilísticos, una docena de incendios estructurales, 919 estanques limpiados para que el agua pueda ser absorbida, 441 reportes de baches en las carreteras, y todos continúan trabajando para atender estos y hacerlos disponibles al público. Estamos orgullosos de decir que el Departamento de Bomberos, el Departamento de Energía ha podido restaurar electricidad a 59,000 residentes de nuestra ciudad. Queremos recordarle que la posibilidad de tendido del alámbrico puede todavía ocurrir, y si usted encuentra alambres caídos, son potencialmente mortales. Por favor, marque 911 para reportarlo. También llame al 311 para reportar otros problemas no emergentes. Desde que ha comenzado la tormenta, el 311 ha recibido más de 4,500 llamadas para pedir servicio. Estos reportes llegan aquí directamente a nuestro centro de coordinación y esto ayuda a mantener las líneas del 911 disponibles para emergencias. Gracias, alcalde Bass, por su trabajo y liderazgo a través de esta tormenta. Queremos asegurarle que el Departamento de Bomberos y todos los servicios públicos están comprometidos para la recuperación de nuestros ciudadanos. Queremos reconstruir y recobrarnos de esta tormenta y salir de ello más fuerte. Agradecemos su atención, su fuerza y su diligencia por apoyarnos. A través de estos hemos navegado una recuperación y nos mantenemos unidos con nuestras comunidades para ver todas las diferentes cosas que vamos a enfrentar. Manténgase seguro, manténgase alerta y cuídense unos a otros. Gracias.
All right, thank you very much. And before we open it up for questions, I forgot Jimmy Kim, who's here, General Manager, Rec and Parks. We will be providing a paper update again tonight at 6:30 and another paper update tomorrow morning. And we will provide, right now there is no in-person update planned tomorrow, but we will, of course, assess as the storm goes. And as you all know, and it was mentioned today, recovery is already underway. Any questions? Sure.
Mayor Bass, can you share with us what the President and Vice President shared with you during that call? Can you preview what you may be asking the President and Vice President for?
Sure. The Vice President, I was not able to speak with her. So she put a call in, but it didn't reach me. When the President called yesterday, he was calling to see how we were doing in Los Angeles. You know, he was just here. He was here just actually day before the storm system started. So he wanted to know how we were doing, and he also wanted to know what we needed. I asked him, since by sheer coincidence he happened to call during the press conference, I asked him if he would, give a word of encouragement to Angelenos, and he did that, so he was able to speak during the press conference. But what we are looking at now on the recovery side, for example, we know we have a number of people in shelters, a number of unhoused Angelenos, so we will be looking to ask for emergency vouchers. And then we're also concerned about a number of people, especially in hillside communities, where the insurance companies won't cover the hillsides, to see if we could qualify for FEMA money. And part of that is formula-based, based on the number of homes that are damaged in the county. And so part of that, again, will take a while. We know, as was mentioned earlier by the National Weather Association, that the hillsides are soaked. Some of them are still moving. So hopefully no more homes will be damaged, but it's too early to tell. So that's an example of some of the things that we'll be asking the White House for. Now, we have been fortunate that the administration has been with us 100%, working on the issue of the unhoused, but also on climate change, a variety of things. I think that this crisis is an example of why you have to have a whole of government approach when you're dealing with major problems. The federal, the state, the county, the city, all in alignment. And we have that today as we're dealing with this crisis, as we've had all year long, since last year.
One thing I want to say before we wrap, I just want to say thank you, especially on behalf of everyone up here, to the media to help us get the important information out to your viewers. And we will let you know if there's an update tomorrow. Thank you so much.